and welcome to another episode of Red Couch Chronicles. I'm Danielle. Today I'm going to share with you a list of 5 things to never ever do when you're starting a relationship. Now, if you missed Wednesday's video, I would humbly go back and ask you to watch that, because in that video what I did was shared a list also of 5 things to never allow a man ever to do to you. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things to never ever as a woman to do while you are getting ready to start a new relationship. And so the first thing on the list is never ever give a man wife benefits when you're only a girlfriend. And when I say girlfriend, I mean all encompassing: girlfriend, fiance, housemate, living with, significant other, been together for years. Don't give him those wife benefits, because you see what's happening is, in giving him wife benefits, you are in essence making him comfortable and content in the position that he is. Think about it. The old saying has always been, why buy the milk if you can get the cow for free? If you have that cow that you can milk on your own whenever you need something to drink, whenever you want to make some ice cream, whenever you want to churn some butter, then guess what? The cow is sitting right in your house, and there's no need to go out and buy that milk. There's no need to go out and buy that butter. There's no need to go out and buy that ice cream. So on the list of things to never ever do when getting into a relationship, my sisters, is never ever give a man wife benefits when you are only his girlfriend, his significant other, his fiance. All right? Thing number 2, never ever give a man money. And this goes back to Wednesday's video, when I said to never ever allow a man to even ask you for money or think to ask you for money. Now I'm telling you as a sister to never ever give a man with whom you are in a relationship, not your husband, money. Because what happens is that changes the whole dynamic of the relationship and says to him that he is no longer the provider and the protector in that relationship. You are. And once you take away that conquering role and that providing role from a man, then guess what? You might as well, as I've said in the other video, turn in your marriage material card, because I promise you it's not going to work. Number 3 on the list of never ever things to do, never ever purchase a home, a car, a pet, or co-sign a loan for a man with whom you are in a relationship. Again, I'm not speaking about your husband. I'm speaking about a boyfriend, someone you're living with, someone you're interested in, someone who may even be pursuing you. Never ever go in half and half on large purchases, because let's say, for example, God forbid, this relationship does not pan out or does not come to fruition of marriage the way you expected it to. What happens to that house? What happens to that car? What happens to that dog? You understand what I'm saying? You will have to sell the house, or somebody would have to buy you out of the house, buy you out of the car. Somebody will get the dog, the pet cat, the pet goldfish. We can't cut a living thing in half. And so what that is going to do is only breed more contention in the relationship. It's only going to cause more resentment in the relationship, and it's only going to cause more heartbreak. Whoever is breaking up the relationship, whoever is at fault, it doesn't matter. But just to protect yourself from losing a relationship and having to lose your home, your car, your pet, or even being linked to that person for the remaining 4, 3, 5 years on a loan upon which you co-signed for, don't do it. It's not worth it, my sisters. All right? Number 4 on the list is never ever put yourself in a compromising position with a guy you are dating. And when I say a compromising position, again, this goes back to something that was shared in that first video, or the video that was made on Wednesday. Do not ever put yourself in a position with a guy who, while we're alone and the candlelight is flickering in the background and we're playing some Barry White in the background and we're sitting nestled in each other's arms, guess what? It is hard, very hard at that time to keep temptation at bay when you're in that compromising position, when you're under the gun of touching and sitting next to and feeling his body heat and having him whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Never, ever put yourself in those compromising positions, especially if one of your boundaries, as well there should be, is not to have sex or not to have any sexual relationship before you are married. That means, sisters, no Netflix and chill. That means, my sisters, no solo vacations. Now, this is not to say we can't go over to a friend's house and stay in community and watch movies there. This is not to say that we can't go on a vacation with a bunch of people and maybe all the girls room in one room and all the boys room in another room. There are ways to ensure your safety, and there are also ways to ensure that boundaries are kept. All right? And lastly, number 5 on this list is never, ever, and one is very important, and this one is from my heart. Of course, everything that I've shared with you today, I have experienced, but this one is very near and dear to my heart. Never, ever expose your children to a man in the beginning stages of a relationship. God forbid that relationship does not work, and you have to explain to them why Mr. Jones is not coming around anymore. God forbid 2 months after Mr. Jones has gone his merry way, you meet Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams and you were starting to talk, we're going out, we're dating, and next thing you know, weeks after that, we're broken up because we both decided, okay, let's split it amicably. Let's make an amicable split. What happens to the kids when they're seeing all these men parade through is, whether you're doing anything or not, kids, they don't have the wherewithal to think about what mom is doing, with Mr. Jones or with Mr. Williams. But what you're showing them is that people come and people go, and that there's no stability in your life. There is no stability with getting to know someone, getting to grow with someone, getting to learn the ups and downs, or even sticking by someone. And so my suggestion is, after a few months, when we see that this relationship is possibly heading to marriage, and I always say marriage because we're beginning with the end in mind, and as far as I'm concerned, the end in mind is marriage. Wait. Make sure that person is going to be there. Make sure that person is ready to walk in covenant with you. Make sure that person is committed to going that extra mile, taking that long walk before you even think of involving your children. We have to protect our children, my sisters. We have to protect our children. I can't say that to you with any much more emphasis than that. And so, just to review, the 5 things of never evers for us. Never ever put yourself in a compromising position. Never ever give a man money, regardless of whether he asks or you see that there is a need. Don't do it. Never ever go half on a mortgage or tie yourself into a car note or put yourself on a loan, a note, co-signing for a guy that is not your husband. Never ever give wife benefits to a man who is not your husband. And last but not least, never ever introduce your kids to a man with whom you have just barely begun to see. Until next time, my beloved, I look forward to seeing you on this red couch again soon. And until then, I bid you farewell. Be well.